Yo, what's up? Salute to all my peoples. Welcome to another edition, a special edition, actually, of Comic Cons, where we talk mostly things related to comics. And we got a special one today. We're going to be covering, because of the holiday that just passed, Halloween, Batman Along Halloween, which I think is probably, in my opinion, one of the greatest Batman stories ever. And this is the comic review. They got an animated movie. Not covering the animated movie, I don't think it did it as much justice as the comic book did. And I always wanted to cover this with Mac. And of course, I brought my brother Derek Gaines along for the ride because me and Mac was supposed to cover this a while ago, before all of this went down, before I had two of my riders riding with me. So let me before I get started, let me get to the people in the chat so I can bring up my co-host. Salute to my brother D Man. And I see you hating, but guess what, D Man?
What are you? I'm Batman.
Yes, sir. But salute. Salute to Amanaz. Salute to Pooh Man. Salute to Jimmy Bernard. Salute to my big bro, Joe Townsend. Salute to Eric Jordan. Welcome back, Eric Jordan. You came back for a good one. Let me see. Did I miss anybody else? Nah, okay. So let me bring Mac and my bro Derek Gaines. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Glad to see all the normals in the chat. I appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you very much.
Derek Gaines is back from a long vacation, y'all. From a long vacation. So,
y'all was doing the variants, man. I didn't get into the variants much. So I didn't have nothing to add to it. I just sat back, and just listened to you guys, and then listening to y'all, I was like, man, I want to read that comic.
See,
so I started. I went on eBay. That's where I get all my old issues from. If I can't find them in a local bookstore, comic book store I go to. So I found some of them issues that we were talking about, and I look forward to getting into them.
Can you hear me now?
yeah. Nah, we heard you the whole time. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So today we're gonna be doing a comic review. We're gonna be talking about Batman Along Halloween.
And D Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, D Man, real quick. Hey, this is one of my favorite comics, champ. So you're gonna have to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. That's what you're gonna have to do today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I told you I'm not a big DC fan, but when it comes to Batman, it's a little different. Batman is one of my favorite comic book characters.
Yeah, I'm not a big DC fan either, but
I love Batman. He was one of my first. I told y'all my first comics I ever bought was Ghost Rider, Batman, and Spider Man, and then it was Punisher. Like that. That was literally the first comics I ever bought. And then I got into the Batman Beyond and all that. Like Batman, I love Batman. I'm not a big fan of Superman and a lot of other. I do like Martian Manhunter because they really don't expound on how strong he really is. But that's it. That's another show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said that was a great live last time. I didn't know much about the variant characters. It's cool. It's cool. Me and Mac, we always on the phone. We talk about stuff like that. Mac got more what if stories than I do. I give Mac that.
I got a whole what if collection.
Know what I'm saying? So, but I've read a lot of them. I get a lot of them digitally on my tablet. So I definitely know what's going on when it comes to the different variants. And yeah, I did think that live was really good. It was very underestimated too. But let's get in let's get into this, man.
Let's
So the
get into
story
it.
kick off. Bruce Wayne is in Carmine Falcone's mansion. They're
Yep.
throwing a wedding for Johnny Vitti, his nephew, his sister Carla's son. So how do y'all feel about that whole part right there? Like Bruce Wayne meeting up with one of the biggest crime bosses in Gotham and things like that. Derek, you got anything on that?
Somebody
He
better.
knew he was crooked. Yeah, man. I watched a couple episodes over because I felt like if you blink, you'll miss something.
Yes, yes.
And I said to myself, man, the Falcones were a menace. Man,
Yeah.
I was like, man, how come they haven't done storyline in the movies? I mean, everybody knows the Joker and Riddler and all them, but the crime boss family, they kind of hint around it, and the Batman with the Joker, they hinted around it, but the Falcones, man, they were a menace.
You know that
And
the Falcones was actually one of the original villains of Batman comics.
Yes.
oh, okay,
Yeah, so that's kind of why that's
And it goes
that.
back to his father.
It goes back to when it was Detective Comics and Spider. I mean, and Batman was an actual detective. Like, yeah, it's
uh huh, uh huh.
Love about
I,
this
I
story.
I
He,
loved it. I loved it. The story was excellent. I used to, as a kid, we had stories like that. One of my first comic books that I brought came with a record. So you would play the record and follow along in the book. It was Spider Man and I think it was Werewolf by Night. And Spider Man had to fight Werewolf by Night, and there was a red ruby that the werewolf was carrying around his neck, and Spider Man had to rip it off. Um, it's crazy because is if you've seen Werewolf by Night on Disney or Marvel, they had the similar scene, with the prize and everything, and I think it was a jewel, but this the following along and reading, man, I come from a generation that's all we did was follow along and listen to the radio while the narrator tells a story. So this wasn't new to me. I loved it.
me personally, I love this story. We're gonna keep going into it. I love it so much because, like Mac was talking about, it gets to the root of the character of Batman
Hmm.
being a
Yeah.
mhm.
detective, and his detective skills really have to get displayed
Right.
uh, through this whole storyline. So, yeah,
Before you go into it, brother, I just want to send a shout out to Tay Tay. Hey, Tay Tay, Superman could not beat Dr. Fate. He couldn't beat Shazam. He couldn't beat Black Adam. He couldn't beat Doctor Strange. You know why? Because Superman's major weakness is not kryptonite, it's magic.
that's true.
That
He's
is true.
definitely weakened by magic. If Shazam really wanted to put paws on him, it would
Yeah,
probably be
yeah.
done.
But the Incredible Hulk, he ain't weakened by magic.
He
He
said,
just get madder. But
Jimmy
go ahead.
Menard, she does
I see,
not
man.
a
It's,
Batman. She's a Superman fan. I don't know if you ain't know that by now. As much as Tay Tay always go on the rant and come in here and start talking mess about Batman, but I'm glad that she's here so she can see how great of a story that this story is. This ain't no bad. This is just a great story
Yeah,
arc.
Yeah,
Period.
it's a great story.
it really is. And I didn't get to go into it about how the story started off, but it was interesting that it started off in the way it did because it really takes you into the moan on how Falcone and Bruce Wayne are connected. Like
Yes,
it talks
yes.
about it from the jump, and that was one of the biggest things about setting up the plot of this whole comic. It wasn't setting up the story; it was setting up the plot because in multiple scenarios you get back to how Bruce Wayne and Falcone, Roman Falcone, is connected. Like throughout the entire story. So even though it's not the full story, it's a plot of the story that's intricate throughout the entire series, and it talks about that. And from the start, that little moment at that party, like and even Marone even asked him,
Oh,
"Hey Bruce,
Salvatore
yeah,
Maroni.
yeah," he was asking, "Hey Bruce Wayne is snooping around. Do you want me to take care of it?" He said, "No, leave him alone." Like it kind of it sets some things up, and as you get into the story you start to see, okay, it takes you back to the beginning, but you really have to pay attention while you're reading the comic.
Yes, sir. Um, so basically what ends up happening as we keep going along is Batman is starts snooping around the house, like Max said. He gets kind of caught snooping around Alberto, the son, tells his dad that, and his dad tries to tell him, like, yo, don't get involved in that. He never wanted his son to be involved in the crime family. To me, it kind of reminded me of The Godfather with
Hmm.
Reno,
with, with
because they
Michael.
did make him look
Michael.
Marlon Brando. No, I'm
Yeah,
saying as far as who Alberto was. Alberto was more like Fredo.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
We can see how he
So
banished him, and he didn't want
Sophia
him.
was a gangster.
Yeah, Sophia. Yeah, we gonna get into all of that. But as Bruce is leaving and he gets caught by Alberto or whatever, he ends up running into Selena Kyle, who I guess they dating and stuff. They don't really give us any indication on what's really going on, but you could tell that they involved because as soon as they see each other at the party, they start dancing. And then Carla, she asks us questions about that.
Yeah, she was feeling Bruce Wayne. The
Yes, she was. Carla was. She said, see,
she,
she asked her son, who is that? Who's that dude over there? You ain't lying. You
you
ain't lying.
want me to go get him, mama?
Yeah, word. Yup. You heard Johnny V when he
You
said
want me
that.
to go get him?
Mhm.
So after that we get into uh this is Mac in real life. Harvey snooping downstairs in the
Why
garage.
it gotta be me in real life?
That's big bad Harvey in real life. They
Just
go
because he's a Gemini don't mean that we the same person. He might be a June Gemini, and June Geminis and May Geminis are not the same. So we are different. I'm a May Gemini. We we real live gangsters
And
out here in
actually,
this
they
shit.
tell you that in this story
Yeah,
because
I know.
Calendar Man points that out because his birthday obviously got to be around Father's Day. But we gonna get into that. We gonna get
Yeah.
into that. But what did y'all think about that whole? And this is basically the ending of partially the ending of the story.
Chapter one, scene one.
Yeah, basically. What did you think about Harvey snooping around and things like that?
Well,
But
Harvey
he
was
was trying. Go ahead, man. Go
no.
ahead.
You go. I was just gonna say. I just get this out. Harvey was a different type of DA. He wasn't like a lot of normal DAs. Normal DAs dictate. Harvey was hands on and was really like a. He was really like a. He was a detective in himself, and he was trying to find things out. He was getting information on people. He was doing a lot. That's how he even found. Well, I can't go there yet, but that's how he even found out later on about that. that was connected. So you look at it, and as the story goes, you start finding little things out, and you get to thinking like, huh, that's interesting. And the more you pay attention to it, things start to come together. So yeah, Halloween night, chapter one, scene one.
Uh, sa- salute to Death Note. You know what I mean? I don't agree. This again, this was a great story. He might be a Superman fan on the low, but I hear
Not
you entitled to your opinion.
what did
Um,
he say? I'm stern.
he said he think the plot was weak. When you look at the whole Batman franchise, I don't think so. This is one of the best. This is noted as one of the best Batman stories.
this
We're not just saying this.
Yeah, no, this is one of one of the top DC stories. As a
Yeah,
matter of fact, we should have dedicated this to Tim Sales. R.I.P. Tim
yeah,
Sales.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We should have
You're
dedicated
right about
this
that. I'm
episode to
sorry.
Tim Sales.
Tim Sales and Jeff Loeb is
Yeah,
behind this story.
yes. Tim Sales was the artwork. Jeff Loeb, who I don't like, that made the was responsible for this storyline. Jeff Loeb is also responsible for Daredevil Netflix series and a whole bunch of other failed series is with
But
Marvel.
it's crazy how he did a masterpiece with this one. This one was back
Exactly.
in like 95,
That,
96.
I
that's
like
what
Daredevil Netflix series.
I didn't.
They cut,
And
you know,
I didn't
they,
like
since
how
they
they
dropped it,
ended Power Man. I mean Luke Cage, and
they
yeah,
I
dropped
didn't like who the Iron Fist. I didn't like
it.
that series, but the
Guess who wrote all
Daredevil
those?
one I like.
Guess who wrote all those series?
so
Loeb.
Yep.
wow.
Yeah,
See,
I didn't like the
I,
Defenders. I
I
didn't
felt like
like
he dropped the
Iron
ball.
Fist. Oh,
I
what
felt
did he do? The Punisher?
I don't know, but I know he did do those. I know for a fact he did those.
Oh, the Punisher was good.
But he might have had something to do with it because the Punisher and the Daredevil series coincide.
Yeah, yeah.
So so basically what happens there is Harvey gets beat up. He gets beat up, he gets found. I don't know why he was down there like that. But he couldn't take backup in the police with him because they wouldn't have approved him doing that, you know. So
He was writing down license plates in there in the garage, and they saw him on the camera.
yes. And from that the Bruce done dancing and he's leaving with Kyle, he wants to go back to the house because he can't really snoop around as Bruce Wayne. He knows he has to come back as Batman. So what ends up happening is he runs into Catwoman as he looking into the contents of the safe. And what do y'all feel about that scene when we first see Batman and Catwoman interact?
It's kind of how they always interact. Um, she she seduces him in a way, even though he's trying to be him. He's trying to be the Batman and the superhero, and knows she's a villain, but she still end up seduces him in a way to where they end up working together.
Yes, yes, and which is very true. She always does that, and I always think that she has like a very clever and witty way about doing it to where you can't really read her. Um, and then they end up getting caught by Carmine's or the Roman. I mean, getting caught by the bodyguards and stuff like that. And this is where it's really what did y'all think about them getting caught up? You think they shouldn't have been fake fighting and flirting so much? They should have been more aware.
Facts.
But
They really,
that's what they do.
but they might
And
have
then
got caught on purpose if we go back and look at it.
yeah, because the safe was open. She didn't crack that safe. It was open.
Yeah.
So that tells me, that she it was an inside job, so to speak, because
Yeah.
she didn't crack that safe. They did well. They didn't show her cracking the
Yeah,
safe.
Shane. Yeah, you're right. When he came in, it
It
was
was
already
already open.
open. And so from that point, basically, Carmine, he's upset. He finds out that Batman and Catwoman are snooping in his crib, and he says he wants to put $1 million bounty each on both of their heads for either the bat or the cat, as he
Yep.
says. And that's where the first part ends. Then we go into the next part, and we see Jim Gordon telling Harvey that he wants him to meet with his friend, a friend that is real close to the situation that can help them solve the riddle to what's going on with Carmine's and all of his corruption and things like that. What did y'all think about that part? This is right before things start happening.
Well, I think Batman knew there was corruption on the force. Uh, especially when all the killings started, and Tay Tay, man, um, it had to be corruption on the force. Harvey Dent was trying to find where it was at to plug the hole. Jim Gordon is uh, toting the straight and narrow line, and Batman is like basically by any means necessary. His thing is I'm going to protect my city, no matter what. And
Yeah.
Jim Gordon wants to bring it, you know, to the letter of the law, so to speak. He did say later on, you could bend the law, but don't break it. But yeah, that's what every storyline in Gotham. There's always some corruption in on the force somewhere.
Tay Tay, he didn't kill. She said, but we don't kill Clark. Yeah, we he don't because
We should do Death of Superman and just get it over with.
you know what?
We should
That's
just do Death of Superman and just get it over with.
it's a plan. It's definitely a plan.
It's so many stories in that whole storyline that we could do the Death of Superman and just get it over with.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, yeah. But I I would tell you something about this. I've never seen it before. I've seen that type of anime, so to speak. But this story, I've never seen it before. So once I got into it, I was really into it, and it had me going down different streets, different avenues. I was like, he did it.
Yeah, yeah,
He did it.
yeah.
No,
I
wait.
first read it
He's
too.
been locked up since day one. Oh man, no, he did it. And
Yeah.
then come to find out, I ain't giving it away. Uh, as
Uh,
far as action, it wasn't that much action, so I can understand what Death Note is saying to the to the extent. Wasn't that much. It was more of detective work.
yeah. That's what I want to personally see in a Batman story. So all right, let's go on. I'm gonna ask Mac about the next part.
All
They
right.
make a pact, and so on and so forth. So then later, the nephew Johnny Vitti of the Roman ends up getting dealt with. So the crimes of Holiday begin. What is your thoughts when Johnny Vitti ends up? He's in the bathtub, and you know what I mean. You just see a old school 22 with a baby bottle nipple on it, and he just, you know, he gets dealt with.
That's when it first started. And looking at it, I was like, damn, this was right after. That wasn't Halloween though, was it?
Um, yeah, that was how. Yeah, that
You
was.
sure? Because Falcone's son died on Halloween.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That
I
was
thought he did. I
nah.
thought he
That
was the
was New Year.
first.
See, you going. See, Mac, you giving everything away, man.
That's
Go
my fault, but I got it mixed up. That was on me. Okay, but when that
they
happened,
taking
I
the
was just
Alberto. Yeah, they taking
yeah.
the Alberto.
I just got them mixed up. That's all. But when it happened, I was like, "Ooh, Carla not gonna like that."
Hmm.
Carla, she's upset. She's trying to figure out what's going on. She actually started tripping, thinking her brother had something to do with it. Um, they was trying to tell him it wasn't. He didn't do it. They trying to find out who did it. Batman. That's when Batman get involved, and he look at it like this don't make any sense. Why would you kill one of your own people? Because the way it was framed is that Falcone killed one of his own men. It wasn't framed like somebody else did it. And that's when the real detective skills of Batman got introduced, and he started going around really doing some serious investigation. And also, when he was sitting there discussing the Catwoman, made another appearance.
Another thing that ends up happening too, after later in the story, is after this whole thing happens, um, a lot of the people, as far as when it comes to the mob people, they think that is Harvey Dent. All of them think it's Harvey.
Everybody thought it was hard.
Everybody in the crime world thought it was Harvey. You know, so basically, what ends up happening after Johnny gets ended up situated with, what happens is during Halloween, him and his uh wife Gilda, they giving out candy, and there's a package left there once he gets back, and it is a bomb, and
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
it explodes the whole house. Um, and we at the time we don't know what happens with Harvey. Then we go into Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and what happens is Mickey the Mink Sullivan, who is part he runs the Irish mob, he gets interrogated because they think him and his crew are involved, and they admit that they involved. What did y'all think about that whole part? Hold it down for me. Uh,
Man,
Mac, you
I,
could
I,
go.
I, I'll let him go
Or
first.
Derek, you can go.
I'll let Derek go first.
Uh, that's where I started to get confused. I said, wait. Okay, who died first? And then remember I had to go back and watch stuff over again because like if you blink you miss something. I felt that's where the what I'm trying to say, they laid out the breadcrumbs for you to follow real well, but it didn't lead up to the person that you thought it was. Because I started thinking it was them. Yeah, and then with the murder, I think what was the murder of the first son, and then the one that got married,
Oh,
and
no, that's his nephew. That was Carla's son. His nephew.
yeah, okay, the nephew, and I really started thinking it was Dent because at this point in the story, the supervillains really wasn't in it yet, except for Catwoman, but I don't consider her a supervillain. I really don't. The Joker, the Mad Hatter,
Well, you
Solomon.
did have a supervillain in that instance that showed up, Solomon Grundy.
Yes,
Going on a
yes,
Monday. He did
yes.
show up in that
Remember, he
moment.
talked about. I was
Yeah,
going to ask you about that because remember what happened is he talks about how he chased Mickey the Mink Sullivan because he traced the nail that he bought.
Yeah,
Um,
but didn't
yeah.
Batman leave him Solomon Grundy a Thanksgiving turkey?
no, no, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that was later.
That
That was
was
later.
later.
That was later.
Okay.
Also,
He chased
before all three of them confessed, you only had one confession.
Mickey.
That
Yeah,
was,
Yeah,
but that was
yeah,
because
I remember that scene.
Batman had to catch him, but he went. He met up with Solomon Grundy first.
he chased him into the sewer, and that's
Yeah,
when Batman said he tried to get away from one demon to run into another. And
yeah.
then you hear Solomon Grundy,
Born
born
on
on a
man.
Monday.
That's the only thing I hated about Solomon Grundy, man.
That's how he talked. That's how he talked.
I know. It's just that all they got. He every time you just couldn't get it without him rhyming.
Now is he DC answer to the Incredible Hulk? How the Hulk used to be?
Uh, that's a good question.
Like Hulk smash, puny humans and all that.
Um,
Because there's a lot of parody in between DC and Marvel.
Salute to Joseph S. He said Batman Gotham by Gaslight is another great comic. And then he said Superman is whack, old boy, scout, bland as a mother. Y'all know what he said.
Gotham
You heard him.
Gaslight,
You heard him. You heard
Gotham
you
Gaslight is pretty good. I didn't read the comic, but I saw the anime.
Who?
It's pretty good.
you heard him, Tay Tay. You heard
Who's
him.
pretty? Who's pretty good?
Batman Gotham by Gaslight. It
Oh,
it sets in the like let's say 1700s, I think. It's Gaslight is where they used to light the street lamps. So that's why they mean by Gaslight. Another good one is Death Comes to Gotham. That's a dark one. That's the darkest Batman I've seen.
Sir. So yeah, like that was
Superman cannot be number one. Superman is a super simp. Didn't he get mad when Lois got killed and turn the whole world backwards just so he could be with her, and then turn around and break up with her in part two? Yep, that happened.
so yeah, that was the nephew right there. Oh, Dak, I didn't get a picture of Grundy. Yeah, okay. All right, it's cool.
no picture of Solomon Grundy born on a Monday.
Yeah, I thought
Why does he say that?
It's a
because he was
poem. It's a
born
whole
on a
poem.
Monday,
Yeah.
christened on a Tuesday,
Yep.
married on Wednesday.
No,
He
I
got
thought he had
killed
a
on
worse
Thursday.
Wednesday.
It got worse Friday.
Yeah,
Died on Saturday. And
yeah.
buried
On
on a bright,
Sunday.
glorious Sunday.
Yeah.
That he came back. He came back because of magic, right? If I'm remembering the story, he came back because of magic. Like
Yeah, it
he's a
was something like that with the magic. You know what? I got a whole video coming out on that.
okay. Yeah, I seen it.
So it explained the whole story. You know,
Hey, appreciate the Rum Space Night video, man.
yeah. So no problem, brother.
You
So
did one. I haven't looked.
yeah. I've been doing a lot of shorts and videos. I've been
Okay.
doing it with I holler at you on the back
All
end.
right. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll make sure y'all check those out. So, dang, see, I forgot where I left off. So,
Solomon
yeah,
Grundy.
yeah, Solomon Grundy.
Born on a Monday.
After that, we get back into the precinct and basically Captain Gordon, because he's not a commissioner right now. He's captain. This is before he, gets there. And they is still questioning the Irish mob, and all of the dudes in the Irish mob are basically deciding to take the fall for this. And Harvey is like, no, let's not let's not prosecute him right now. Let's try to get more information. And Jim is telling him like, no, fine, prosecute them, get them, changed. He said, or I'll find somebody else in the DA's office that will do. And Harvey was right. He said they'll be out in an hour and make bail and all of that. And then what
No,
ends up happening,
Harvey was wrong. They got bonded out in less than an hour.
yeah, you're right, because they got they got bailed out less than an hour. You're right. It was like a half hour later. And they're sitting there thinking they're roaming, and then all of a sudden, poop, 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 all of the
Everything
Irish
wrong.
mob get dealt with.
Happy
Holiday
Thanksgiving.
strikes again. Holiday strikes again. So what did y'all think about that part?
That was interesting. I'm gonna tell you that whole thing was interesting because you knew those were going to be the ones to die, but not in the way that they did. I thought they was going to die in jail. The way the story was going, but the fact that they got out and then got popped, and then it shows Batman feeding Solomon Grundy right after they got
He
killed. And,
goes back there and he makes sure Solomon Grundy got a plate.
yep, and
Makes
then finds
Yep.
right after that he finds out. Right after he gives them a plate, he finds out it's another murder.
yes. Yeah, that's when he killed they murked the Irish mob.
Yep.
Remember, because they was like to the Roman, and then they all eating dinner, and then they come in there and deal with them. So
Yep.
yeah, so happy Thanksgiving. So now what ends up happening is we go into Christmas, and what ends up happening is we go to the jail cell. We go into Arkham Asylum right now, and they run into a character who I'm kind of mad DC didn't. Another person that normally murks people on a holiday. His name is Julian Day, the calendar man. Somebody's taking his job, and they figure who else to know who could possibly have done this, because he does things similar to how Julian Day, the calendar man, does things by murking somebody on holidays. So they go and question him. And basically, Julian Day, it was like, it's almost Christmas. He'll be killing again, or she'll be. He keeps saying one at one question he'll say he, and then in another question he'll say she likes it. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So basically, he's not giving you a direct answer to where is the murderer a male or a female. What did y'all think about the calendar man, and do you think he should be incorporated in the future?
Uh,
Act
ain't enough on
he
him.
said he and she'll I mean he said she and then he said he'll like it, not he and she'll like it. And the reason I say that because that's an important thing to understand by the time we get to the end of this story. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah, you're right.
don't mix that up because that's I promise you that really means something. He said
Yeah,
it's a she, and and the reason she's doing it is because she feel like he said he's liking it basically.
Yeah.
When you get
yeah,
down in the
because
story,
they wrote that part very well. Because
yeah,
he comes off as crazy. It's almost like he's speaking in riddles.
facts.
Yeah,
No, he
I'm
really he
listening.
really
Like,
was speaking in riddles though.
yeah, you're right. He was. He told them the truth too, and but how he was saying it, it was like, yo, dude, don't make no sense.
Yeah,
And you won't know until you get to the end. I was like, I get it. I get it.
So so basic um that would and I agree with both my brothers like that this was great writing right here. After they leave the jail, we actually see the Joker. And the Joker crazy happy holidays, happy holidays. The Joker
Yeah,
the Joker is upset. The dude that voiced the Joker in this motion comic, I just want to shout him out. Yo, you
yeah,
did a great job, bro. I think he
he
did the
really did.
best out of everybody because he nailed it. Like the version of the Joker that I want to see in a movie, he did that. He did the Mark Hamill version. He did that to a T. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Shout
Um,
out to him. He really did.
They
he
should make Mark Hamill the next Joker.
he did such a great job. Like the dude that voiced this Joker, he did a good job. So after that, Joker, um, because I kind of skipped the part because in the beginning, Joker, he's reading about Holiday, and then Batman and Jim, they then they end up visiting Julian Day. So then we get back to Joker. He's visiting Sal Maroni at his restaurant. He hits two of his dudes with the laughing gas, and Joker's whole ambition is to find out who is
We talking
Holiday
about that.
because he feels like there should only be one homicidal maniac.
Yep.
What did y'all think about that part? Y'all got anything
Go
on
ahead, man.
Um, it was interesting how they it was interesting how they introduced the Joker in this, and how the understanding of the psychology of Joker knows that it shouldn't be another there shouldn't be another psychopath in Gotham but him. He doesn't like it. He's jealous, and even Batman could tell he's jealous. Even in the we haven't got there yet. I was gonna say when they was in the air, but anyway, you could tell that he's really jealous and upset, and he wants to find them as bad as he do, but he's doing it in different means. Like he's gonna go out and kill everybody until he find out who it is.
You got anything on it, Derek?
I did like the way they introduced the Joker and Solomon Grundy and the rest of the supervillains. Um, I don't think Joker killed anybody in this one. Like you said, he was jealous. He was jealous, and then on top of that, the people who are getting knocked off were, you know, um, made people, so to speak. These are close to the head guy.
The Roman.
So yeah, it's very interesting. Like I always say, man, a good story will make a bad movie great. And this was I want them to make this movie. I I want them and stick as close to the storyline as you can. I want them to make this movie. Make it in 2 or 3 parts if you have to. I want them to make this movie, man. It was great. The story was great.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you cheered up and you got to watch the motion comic.
You
See,
would
I'm
have
glad.
to you would have to do this in multiple movies. Either
Yeah,
make
you
it
would.
multiple, either do it like you know what? Have y'all ever seen Maze Runner
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yep, yep.
and how they did their trilogy? If they
Mhm.
could
Yeah.
do this, if they could, and I love Maze Runner. If they could do this movie how they did their trilogy, then it'll be dope for DC because it'll really have people anticipating and waiting. And then think this: It was one character they didn't have in it, and I'm saying it because it's not a spoiler. Penguin wasn't in this one, but it
Yeah,
had
he
it had
wasn't.
it had a character in here that they haven't introduced in no Batman movie ever. Well, two of them. Solomon Grundy was one of them, but it's another one that we haven't talked about yet. And I've always wondered why. This is one of the things I've always wondered why he wasn't in a movie because it'd be so easy to introduce him. Y'all have introduced Scarecrow. Y'all haven't introduced Clayface, but that's another story. And Clayface wasn't in this, but he didn't belong in this story.
Yeah, he
No,
didn't. I mean, you could have threw him in it
Nah,
if you think
the,
about it,
the
because it's
the
Halloween.
penguin actually belonged in this story because the penguin actually done stuff with Falcone.
Yeah,
yeah.
yep,
The
yep, yep,
He
yep,
penguin,
he
yep.
belonged
Mac,
in this
Mac is
story.
right. Mac is definitely right. I got
the
a video.
penguin came from a rich family. So yeah, yeah, he had some background too. Uh,
He belonged in this story, but
He did.
Clayface
He
didn't.
did. I agree with Mac because he, especially the first like stories of him, it was involved with Carmine Falcone. So you
Every
see
one
how
of them.
they doing that in the Penguin show. If you watch it, which is really good by the way, and I'll be watching that later. Um,
That
that
Fa-
like that's how they supposed to do it. Mac is right on that.
I
So
haven't started
Falcone,
watching that
Falcone
yet.
is how the penguin got his power. The
you know
little power he got was from Falcone. Originally the men that was behind the penguin were Falcone's men.
that's true. So let's keep going. So
Right.
basically, what happens then is the Joker goes into Harvey's house. He's in the house, and Harvey is like, Gilda, Gilda, where's Gilda? He's like, oh, that's her name. She looked like a Gilda. And, and then him and Joker start scrapping a little bit. And then, basically he was like, Joker threatens him and says, if I find out that you holiday, this is that and the third, he's gonna be coming back, and then he ends up going to Carmine's house, with the Christmas hat on. And he tells Carmine, yo, he better find out who it is, or he's gonna take out everybody in the city.
Yep.
Till he does find out who is Holiday.
And if one
So
person Carmine is scared of, it's the Joker.
yeah, he was. And then basically as he leaves, one of the bodyguards, one of his main bodyguards, I forgot what his bodyguard name is. But after Joker leaves, the bodyguard couldn't catch him. He bounces and he turns around and Holiday's there again and takes out Carmine's bodyguard, who becomes the next victim. So that's how we end on that part.
Great way to end.
So then we get back to the Joker, and the Joker is flying the airplane because he's ready to unleash some type of toxin on the city so
Hmm.
that he could find out who the Roman is or whatever. And Batman, he hears about it, and Batman is on his trail. And as that's happening, a whole nother dynamic takes place to a point to where Harvey gets news about Bruce Wayne, about Bruce Wayne's connection with the Carmine Falcone family. His
Remember, they thought they in the beginning of the story they thought Harvey Dent was Batman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what Jim Gordon said. He said there was a point where I thought you would have Batman. He said, no, he said, I like something about he like who he is. He wouldn't do nothing like that, this and that and the third. So yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Um, but so basically, how do you feel about that news getting brought up that Norm Vernon, sorry, Vernon finds out that how Bruce Wayne and Carmine Falcone is connected. Mac, what you think about that? Or Derek?
Well, he was invited to the wedding, and
True.
then he uh, he tried to put money, get Bruce Wayne to back him in the banks because Bruce Wayne owned the banks, and he wouldn't extend a loan to him. So that basically shut down his business. As we get into the story, we find things are different. But it's always been. I was very intrigued about the connection between him and Falcone. Um, they need to do a story on that. Maybe they were childhood friends or something up until you know Bruce Wayne lost his parents, or
They
maybe
were
afterwards, because
they were they
they
wasn't
it,
they wasn't childhood
Nah, they
friends.
wasn't. Nah, they wasn't.
It
Nah, they
talks
got a
about it.
background.
Yeah, I'm gonna
They,
say the background is in the story. We
uh
haven't got there yet. We, slow down just a little bit, you'll get more into it because no, Falcone, they wasn't kids together. Falcone is too old to be Batman's kid, childhood friend.
yeah, you're
Falcone
right,
is
you're
older.
right, you're right.
So Batman, Bruce Wayne and Sophia is more close to the age.
yeah, yeah, and Alberto, yeah, they
Yeah,
more close. Yeah.
not Falcone. So you gotta slow down and you'll see what I mean.
Um, Matter of fact, Mac, I want to talk to you about this next part. What
Bet.
happens after? So basically, after that happens or whatever, and Batman apprehends the Joker. He stops the bell from striking or whatever. We go to the yacht party that Carmine is having on New Year's. He's having a yacht party, and Carla's still upset about her son. And then he says, "You see Alberto? Did you go find Alberto?" And then Alberto ends up getting murked allegedly, and he goes off the boat. You want to talk about that to the people real quick?
Yeah, but before you get to that point, you can't skip by Falcone discussing the murder of his men to
Oh,
um,
to Salvatore.
Salvatore Marone. He
Yeah,
was
go
sitting
ahead.
there talking to him, and they had a conversation like we have to find out who this holiday kid is uh, before any more of our people get killed. And Falcone was like, "That's easy for you to say since everybody that's dying is on my side." And he was like, "Yeah." He basically threatened him and let him know, "Yeah, we gonna see." And then right after that, it goes to a scene and shows Carla. Then it shows Alberto getting popped, and that's when everybody started putting a lot more into thinking. They started getting more. They started getting more people who had motives of being holiday. They started thinking Carla what was had motive. That's when
Remember how
Batman.
Jim and them popped up
Yep,
on Gilda and Harvey, and
yep,
how after he gets popped, Harvey's hair is wet and stuff like that. I already know
yep.
what Derek was thinking when
But
he was reading it. He was like, "Yo, it's definitely hard."
I didn't at that point reading it. I thought it was Harvey from the jump, but that part kind of took me away from thinking it was Harvey. I'm not gonna lie to you. At that moment, for the rest of the time, even reading the comic back in the day, I always thought it was Carla. But that was just my thinking. Like it was just She was upset. She had a 22 too. Like it was like the way they plotted the story, it make you think it was her the whole time after the murder of her son. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nah, I agree. I agree. You got anything on that, Derek, or you want to move on to the next one?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, if you remember what we was talking about earlier, when Batman was trying to apprehend the Joker, basically what ends up happening is Vernon comes with news to Harvey when Harvey is working late at the office about Batman being involved with the Roman or Carmine Falcone.
Not Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Sorry, Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry, Bruce Wayne. And so what happens next is Jim Gordon and Harvey Dent show up to the Wayne mansion. And of course, Bruce isn't there, or Batman. He's probably doing Batman work. And they start questioning Alfred about his whereabouts and his connections to Carmine Falcone. And Alfred is basically telling them, like, it's Valentine's Day. Did you get something for Gilda? Did you get something for Mrs. Gordon? So he's basically trying to tell them, you guys need to be worried about other things. Obviously, Bruce isn't involved in this. What did y'all think about this particular part in the story? Derek, I'm gonna come to you since you didn't speak the last time.
I'm sorry, brother. I was talking to my daughter in the background. Hmm. Ask me that question again.
Oh, okay. That's what you had to say. I said, nah, this is the part. Nah, I was saying this is the part basically where Jim Gordon and um Harvey Dent arrive at Bruce Wayne's house trying to question
Oh,
him about his involvement with the Roman or Carmine Falcone. What did you think about
right.
that whole
Um, I still think at this point they were trying to figure out who's Batman. Since the scene where Jim Gordon and Harvey Dent and Batman were all together, they still trying to figure out who's Batman.
They
And
wasn't
just
not the wrong scene.
oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm
This is
lost in
this is
translation.
No,
this is the scene.
this is the
This is
part. Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead,
gonna say
man.
this is the scene on Valentine's Day when. So remember the part where the assistant DA brought Harvey that file, and he said, "Oh, Bruce Wayne is connected to Falcone.
Right,
We need to investigate this more." He talks to Jim. They go to Bruce Wayne mansion. Bruce Wayne is not there. He's on a date with Selena. Bruce and they go there. They start asking Alfred these questions about Bruce. And Alfred is like, "Shouldn't you be with Barbara? Shouldn't you be with Gilda?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
hmm
on days like this, Bruce Wayne is not coming home. It's no telling when Bruce Wayne is coming back. You know, as popular as Bruce Wayne is,
right.
this is this scene.
Well, is this the scene after Bruce Wayne told him he wasn't back in Falcone's business?
Yes, this is after that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. They still trying to figure out. I was still trying to figure it out. What's the connection? Because remember, I've never seen this storyline. So from the moment at the wedding, I know a high society wedding and debutantes and all that was there. But when Bruce Wayne was sneaking around and he got caught, And Falcone was like, "Nah, leave him alone." Like, okay, what is the connection between him and Falcone? And then when he wouldn't back his business at the bank, and now they questioning like, "Yo, where's Bruce Wayne?" And Alfred was like, "Yo, shouldn't you be home with your wives instead of here?" I don't know. I wish I knew more of the connection between Falcone and Bruce Wayne. I wish I knew. Again, if I missed it, let me know. But I did watch every episode.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. So
The thing
man,
is, he
it,
probably, this your first time watching it, so you're not. It's not. You haven't grasped it yet. You're gonna have to watch it or read it. And see, I've read it, but I was younger, and I read it a few times, but I was younger, and then watching it, it kind of bring back old memories as well. So I'm holding on more. I'll say that. Same thing with that. It's almost like watching that movie for the first time. You're not gonna remember everything.
yeah, you're not gonna even you're gonna miss a lot of the small details. But
Hmm.
at the same time, I know me and Mac too, we got the actual graphic novels, not digital copy. We got the actual
Yeah.
books too. So
And then Ed kept asking me, "You gonna be ready this week?" I'm gonna be ready. I was ready then.
nah, you told me you wasn't. You said
No,
you
I
said
thought.
I got school stuff to do and
Oh
stuff.
no, I wasn't. I had already. So what it was, I finished reading it, but I told myself right before the show, I'm gonna go watch it. That way I can, I'm gonna be ready. Ready.
Yes, sir. So Mac, now he comes across Carl gravesite. You see February 14th. And it's fun because remember later he asks Pop, my birthday's on a holiday. You remember? But that's later. And I had to when I read it, I was like, oh shoot, this is where his birthday is. Oh, but it says died on January 1st or whatever. So
Is it? So question:
yeah.
Have we got there yet, or was we there at Poison Ivy?
No, 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 no. This is we here. We here right now. We
Okay,
near.
I
Poison
thought
Ivy come
Poison
after
Ivy.
that. He meets up with him at the grave cemetery first, and then Poison Ivy come right after.
You right. You right.
Cause he runs in. Remember, he runs into Catwoman, and he's like, "Why?" He said, "You don't think I could have took that little gun from that little man?" And then the reason why this is first because once he holds her hand or whatever, it switches right into the scene where he's dancing with Selena, and
Yep.
Selena says, "Bruce, you got a cut on your lip. You should have somebody look at that." He's like, "Oh, I have da da da." She's like, "No, I'm saying somebody with a more feminine touch because they was tussling at the graveyard."
Yeah.
So that's how you know that scene comes first. But anyway, talk about all of that part right there.
There was a going in, going into that right from leaving Bruce Wayne Manor. It sets up another plot. We you looking for Holiday, and you see all these murders, and it got you wondering, why is Harvey Dent investigating Bruce Wayne when you having all these murders on these holidays, and the serial killer out, and you haven't got even a a clue of who this person might be, but you investigating Falcone and a connection with Bruce Wayne, and it started getting you wondering, why is he trying to? It seemed like he's trying to uh, keep people off that case, off the Holiday case, and it makes you think, dude. It didn't make me think that Harvey Dent was Holiday. It started making me think he knows who Holiday is, because Calendar Man said it's a female. Then you get where Catwoman. and Batman is at the cemetery, and you start thinking, could it be Catwoman? Is it possible?
Yeah, that's a fact.
You
So
know,
mhm.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so this scene right here, this is one of my favorite scenes. Let me know if you remember this scene, Derek, when they
Okay.
transitioned to Catwoman, well, Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne after they tussle at the grave cemetery and they're dancing. And then you hear a lady saying rose for the lady on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. And remember he gets plucked with the thorn of the rose.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want your opinion on that.
Um, well, we all knew what the roads represent. That was the introduction to poison ivy, well, the introduction of poison ivy. Um, when it showed he got pricked, I was like, okay, when the poison set in, because usually when when she poisons is right away, But I don't remember him getting poisoned. I just remember him getting pricked by the thorn of the rose, and you didn't see poison ivy again until later. But I remember that scene. I was watching it because I started thinking, I'm like, okay, we in Gotham. Where are all the supervillains at? We already seen, like I said, I don't think Catwoman is a supervillain. I just think she's a she
Anti-hero.
just yeah, like Deadpool, anti-hero. But I didn't think it was Catwoman because I don't remember any storyline when she was a killer. She's more of a seducer, a Batman, and a and like a jewel thief. So it was good. I was glad to see some of the old characters coming back. The Joker. Still don't understand Solomon Grundy's part, but Solomon Grundy, the Joker, and now Poison Ivy. And I didn't never heard of the Calendar Man until now. So for me, he's a real lesser known character. But I was expecting him to get poisoned, but he didn't get poisoned. Maybe she just did it to let him know that he could be reached. I don't know. Am I wrong?
Um, well, since it's already well, before I get to that and I explain it to you, um, Vernon ends up meeting with Sal Maroney, and he ends up taking bribe money, and
Yeah.
that happens right after that, and right after that, uh, once the crew is leaving, the car gets blown up on Valentine. A car gets blown up on Valentine's Day, and the dudes get shot. So we end up getting another murder. Um, but what ends up happening to Bruce is once we leave this story is he ends up becoming intoxicated. Basically, what the rose did, the rose that pricked him, it was a sort of type of toxin that made Bruce infatuated with poison ivy. Like he
Really?
Yeah, that's why right after that you started seeing him right when we go into the next one after the board meeting, it ends up controlling you, basically.
I need to watch it again. Like Max said, I must have
This
missed
is
that.
actually a very important part because this is how they try to connect him to uh Moroni. I mean not Moroni,
Okay.
Falcone.
Carmine.
Yeah.
This is how they try to
Roman.
connect him, the Roman, because he paid her to do that. And once that rose pricked him, it started making him grow leaves and Now poison ivy gives you different type of drugs to try to control you. It was a manipulation type of drug. That's where it started from when the rose pricked him. Because right when he's comes into the house, he's just sniffing the rose. He's obsessed with the rose. And Alfred's asking him, like, sir, sir, and he's not paying him no mind. And then we go into the next, we go into St. Patrick's Day. And Bruce is basically, well, before that happens, I'm sorry. Some One of our lead characters get released from jail, from Ark. And this is Sophia Falcone. I like Sophia. You see how she's built. She ain't built nothing like the one in the story. I mean, in the show. I don't know why they did that. They should have picked the girl that was in the Mandalorian. She's built
Oh,
more like the chick from the Mandalorian, Gina, whatever her name is, that used to be the MMA fighter, would have been a way better fit. You know what I mean? But it's cool. Y'all do what y'all do. But
The
yeah, she,
one in the story on HBO, she kind of looks like Marissa Tomei to me. Like when I saw the trailer, it reminded me like the House of Gucci.
oh, okay, 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 okay. Nah, she
When
was
it,
in Wolf of Wall Street. The last movie I remember that chicken, she was in Wolf of Wall Street. I forgot who she played. I have only watched it one time, but she was in Wolf of Wall Street. But yes,
okay,
Sophia gets released from jail, and then Bruce calls a board meeting, and everything that he said about Carmine and not wanting to do business with him, he's going back on that. So from there, he leaves the meeting, and Selena's actually waiting for him, and he ignores her and goes straight to the limousine. So what do y'all think about that part right there? Him going straight to the, well, Mac, talk about it, because my brother Derek Gaines, he missed the whole part with Poison Ivy.
I
Uh,
don't know how you
well, I
missed that
seen when she got let out.
because that was a that
Nah, but
was
the role, because you got to think about it. He didn't start
yeah,
acting different until after he got pricked.
yeah. He got
The
pricked. Once he
role.
got pricked, the first thing he did was he went to the bank. Well, no, I take that back. First thing he did, he went home, and then he started leaving. And Alfred was like, "Did you have a good night, sir?"
Yeah, he's just sniffing
And
the role.
and he just kept going. He was like, "Well, I guess he did." Then
I get it now.
yeah, and then he went
So
into
that's why
the
he said, "I hear the words, but it doesn't sound like me."
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah,
get
she
it now. I missed that.
She was
Batman
controlling
face.
him.
She knew Poison
Because
Ivy
at
always do that.
first he didn't want to back Falcone's business.
Yeah,
Because in the scene in the board meeting, he was like, "No way, I'm no, 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 don't care, no." And then the next, I was like, "Yo, what happened? Why he changed his mind?"
yeah. This is in that moment. So it was the moment with it was the woman with Alfred. Then it was at the board meeting where he changed his mind. Then he was leaving at the board meeting, and Selena tried to stop him. And he's like, I hear her, but I can't stop right now. He's going to the. He's got somebody in the limo waiting on him. That was Ivy. They love.
That's
I hear
They
her.
why.
just had.
Oh,
Yeah,
He was
I
like, I hear
missed
her.
her.
And then he said, I
Oh
hear
my
her, but
goodness! I thought he
you
was just ignoring her.
he was like,
no,
Like,
no,
yo, I don't feel like talking to you right now.
you know he
no,
too strong minded for that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So you know
Oh man, I missed that. Oh my goodness. I
You
gotta
missed
I
the.
gotta watch it all over again.
I
You
knew
missed the
that the first
info.
time. You know what's crazy? I knew that the first time I watched the motion comic and read the book. I said, "Oh, joint, Poison Ivy done got him." Just because I know how Batman is, the type of person he is in and out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he wouldn't just change his mind like that. You know what I mean? And I know what type of stuff Poison Ivy do because I grew up off of the animated series, and she used to
yeah.
do stuff like that all the time,
All the time,
all the time.
and had Bane with her the whole time
So
in the animated series.
So yeah, but
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all clearing that up. Cause I just thought like, yeah, like I said, if you blink, you'll miss some stuff. And I completely missed that.
Yeah, you missed that one,
that's
King.
why that's why I said that part was important. One of the most important parts when they met up Valentine's Day, and she was,
Uh-huh.
"Can I buy a lady a rose? Do you want to buy a lady a rose for the lady?" That was Poison Ivy in the hood.
Yeah, I realized that was poison ivy, and I did see when he got pricked, and I was like, okay, when the all right, it's poison ivy. She pricked him with a rose. When the poison set in, I completely missed why he started back in Falcone. I dropped the ball on that, brothers. I'm sorry.
Yep. So yeah. So right after that, then Jim he starts going into a spill about how everything is getting painted red. When he was little in Chicago, they used to pour green in the river around St. Patrick's Day. Everything was green. He said as a kid he thought leprechauns did it and stuff like that. But he said now, everything is, painted red and stuff like that. So now Sophia comes home and she meets up with Carla, her aunt, and this is when Carla talks about what happened with her cousin, with her son, and to Sophia, and she has the 22. She has one of the murder weapons. You know, she kept it, and she said that she wants to get Holiday. Now she wants to get Holiday. She controls the crime in Chicago. If y'all didn't know that, Carla. So yeah, she was saying basically Sophia was saying to Carla that the dad, the Roman, doesn't want her to make any moves, without his permission.
So she comes home. She takes control of the family.
She was really more solid than Alberto, so
Yeah,
I understood why.
yeah.
So basically, it's been some months, and Batman's been missing, and Bruce Wayne's been acting funny. So now we go into Bruce Wayne's house, and the window's open. But Poison Ivy, she doesn't pay no attention to that. Catwoman sneaks in there,
It
and
ain't been it ain't been that long
but
because
it been long enough to notice. It
yeah,
been long enough to notice.
it went from St. Patrick's Day
All
to
right, so
Mother's
like
Day.
he almost had like a couple weeks off. He had a couple weeks off.
It was about a month.
Yeah, about a month off. Cause Valentine's Day is what, the 14th. St. Patrick's Day is what, like the 16th. Yeah, it's almost a month and 2 days. That's long enough when it come to Batman. So basically, she comes in the house and Bruce is under her spell still. He fights Catwoman. What do y'all think about that whole part right there?
He's still on the poison ivy spell, but Bruce or Batman still has feelings for Catwoman. So I didn't think it went any further. He's just Batman.
No, no, no. I wasn't saying that part. I was saying because basically he's sitting at the dinner table. I don't know if you caught that part, Derek, with Poison Ivy, and Poison Ivy is comfortable. Catwoman
Mhm.
sneaks into the house, and Bruce is sitting there too, and he's still under her spell. But basically, what ends up happening is Catwoman scratches off the vines that controls.
I missed that. I don't
And
remember that.
I should have forced your ass to watch it twice, Derek. I'm not even gonna lie. I knew I should have did that. I should have made you watch it twice. I shouldn't have cared.
I watched it,
Never
and there
smashed
was some. It was a couple episodes that I blinked and I missed some stuff, and I went back to watch, or I was listening to while I was doing something. Like I was at the doctor's office, and I was in the examination room, and I was listening while they were talking. So yeah, I apologize. I should have watched them twice.
So she ends up saving Batman. She ends up saving Batman. Matt, how you feel about Catwoman coming to Batman's? Oh well, sorry, Bruce's rescue.
Man, they soulmates. You knew he was coming. If nobody else was coming to save Batman, you knew who was gonna save him. I knew that before it happened. I knew the person that was gonna get Batman out of that spell was gonna be Catwoman. Damn sure wasn't gonna be Alfred. And then the moment he got out of the spell, I know I'm going a little further, but the reason I'm doing it for a reason. The moment Catwoman got him out of the spell and beat up Ivy, it shows that Ivy's over there talking to Falcone, getting her bread. Then you see it goes into Mother's Day. Now,
Mhm.
as it goes into Mother's Day, Harvey and Jim comes back to talk to. Well, I take that back. It goes into Harvey and Gilda talking. Then Harvey's leaving, getting ready to go talk to Bruce Wayne. Alfred tells him, "Hey, this is a yeah. Why aren't you with your family? It's Mother's Day. This is one of the hardest days for Bruce."
Yes, yes, sir. So
Wait a
basically,
minute. Wait a minute. You know what? I skipped the whole part, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't even because you
I
get
got to because it's important. The Scarecrow. He went to Arkham.
Mac. It's coming up. You ain't
Okay.
even got it.
Okay.
That's like
Okay.
that's literally the next part. That's what I'm
I,
saying.
okay. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right here because what happened at the cemetery and that it coincide. That's why I stopped. But yeah, Bruce. I mean, Jim and Harvey went to talk to Alfred to see what's going on and try to get information with Bruce and Falcone.
Yes, sir. And basically, what happens from there is another group ends up getting whacked,
Yep.
and then Bruce goes to where the light is lit up at, and he says that's not a toy. And I love that whole interaction with him and Catwoman. Thought it was
Yeah.
real good. And he was like, thanks. And
Yep.
she's like, for what? He's like, Bruce Wayne is a friend. And,
Yep.
and she looks out. You know what I mean? He appreciates her looking out. And it ends well, it doesn't end right there. You see, and this is the part where you know that um he's not a pimp. That's the only girl he literally deals with, Tay Tay, in the story. It's not
Yeah.
two or
In this
three.
story, yeah.
Yeah, it's the only one
Well,
he deals
it's two. It's two.
well, yeah, because but Poison Ivy
No,
put
I ain't
him
talking
on.
about Poison Ivy. Selena.
I mean, they the same person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you want, unless you want to play that game, Batman, Catwoman, if we gonna do the alter ego thing,
Yeah. You
so
right. You right.
it's 1 and 1. But basically, at the end of the story arc, Carmine gives Poison Ivy the money, and she was saying if Catwoman didn't interfere, think of how much more we could have accomplished. And it ends. It kind of ends right there on that, and then we go to what's that? April Fools. And I like this one a lot because we end up getting one of my favorite Batman bad guys. We get the Riddler. And basically it starts off with Carmine and Carla. I mean, sorry, not Carla and Sophia trying to question the Riddler on who possibly is the Holiday murderer. And they feel as though if he can't figure it out, nobody can. So what do y'all, Derek? You remember this part, right? Is it safe?
They,
Am I safe? Am I safe,
is that
Derek?
the same? Is that the same? That's not the same 22.
Get it's one of the 22s. None of them
It's
is.
one of them,
Yeah, he just
and
yeah. He's
I don't remember this scene, but I didn't. I was listening, and the Riddler couldn't answer his riddle. He couldn't answer the question.
yeah,
No
yeah, yeah.
one knew. No one knew. And I watched it and watched it, and I was like, "Yo, it's dead." No, no, it's not dead. Yo, it's after dead. I got lost. I got lost, and I was like, "Yo, who is the killer?" First, I thought it was Joker, and I'm like, "No, no, no. That's not his mo. Who's the killer?" Because they rubbing out mobsters, and they're man. I'm like, "Yo, I huh? What'd you say? Somebody talking to me?"
Oh no, 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 no. We was wait. I thought you was still. I
I
thought
thought Matt said I was telling the plot.
No, I ain't saying nothing.
nobody ain't said.
Oh,
I thought you
I'm
was.
hearing things,
I
man.
thought,
All right.
But
you was talking to some like your daughter or somebody. That's
oh
what I.
no,
Mm-mm.
no, no, she's in the next room. I'm just making sure ain't no noise coming through.
Nah, you
Um,
good today.
again,
That last time you it was bad.
oh man, that man, when you got 7 people and 5 dogs, it gets loud sometimes. Yeah,
You got
about
dogs.
7.
I didn't know you had dogs, but all right.
They ain't mine. They here.
Sound like somebody else I know. But
Right. They ain't mine. They here. But no one knew.
that's
I
what he was
love the
trying to
mystery of this, man, because they kept laying breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel trying to find their way back. And I'm like, yo, is this person? And then I'm like, nope. And then every time I thought it was a different person, they introduced another person. So they introduced the Riddler. I'm like, well, that's not his MO. That's really not his MO. So at this point of the story, I'm completely lost.
Nah,
So
basically they was trying to ask the Riddler to try to piece together who the holiday killer was. So he starts throwing names out there. He was like, maybe it could be Catwoman, maybe it could be Harvey Dent. And then, you know, basically it switches over to Batman. He's in the Batcave, and Alfred actually suggests, he was like, there's one person that you didn't suggest at all, that's morals been kind of bent lately.
Facts.
He's like, who? And he's like, Alfred. I mean, Harvey Dent.
Well, Alfred didn't give a name. He just guessed what it was and started
Yeah,
saying,
yeah. So
they
yeah.
need to make this into a movie. Who's behind Disney now?
mm-mm, 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 mm-mm.
Not
I
Disney,
don't
DC.
Oh,
Uh,
James Gunn. James Gunn's pretty.
James
He
Gunn.
James Gunn's all right. He ain't doing what Disney trying to do with all that.
facts.
With
I
all of
ain't
that,
in Disney. I'm in DC. They
all that woke
there's
stuff.
so many good storylines Batman have that
To
they
be
could make into a movie. They
to be
just
honest
don't.
with you, I know it might sound crazy. I would love Michael Bay to be the person to have something to do with.
Michael Bay, the
Yeah.
Transformer guy.
He didn't start off as Transformer. Michael Bay was the person. If you go back through the history of Michael Bay was the person that did all CSI, Law and Order SVUs. That's where he started off.
Really?
Direct. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Yep.
I did not know that. Thank
He
you.
was like a
Yeah. Michael Bay is a hell of a director. One hell of a director, and I feel like he'd make sure the movie's done right.
Yeah, yeah. Because the early years of CSI were
The original
there were some
CSI.
good shows. There were some good shows.
let's get to this next one. We almost there.
Yeah.
So now we get back to your boy the Calendar Man, and they start talking to him again. And he was saying to Batman, you said that it's May. You said that by February, but he don't know what happened to Batman around that time. you would have caught
Hmm.
you would have caught the person by then.
Hmm.
And then he goes back to the whole riddles, he or she. And then he also brings up Harvey. He brings up Harvey's name into it. He said, Harvey Dent, you know, he said he got a birthday coming up. He's a Gemini. That's the point I was making to Mac earlier. So he points that out about Harvey and
I know.
and I thought that was funny, that he brought things like that up. And then as he's trying to interrogate Calendar Man, all of a sudden a guard hits the floor and is terrified. And as soon as Batman looks in Jonathan Crane's cell, he already knows it's a Scarecrow. And Scarecrow sets it up beautifully. Well, really, it wasn't really him. It was really Carmine. Because Carmine uh, set up him and another bad guy to get broken out. But I think he gets Scarecrow first. And Scarecrow, it looks like he's escaping on a horse, but it's a dummy with fear toxin in it. What did you think about that part, man? I thought that was well written. Yes, that was some well.
I do too. I do too. And I like the introduction of Scarecrow. Um, and them trying to. You didn't mention how they realized he escaped either, with somebody giving him a piece of straw.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's
Yeah,
a very important piece.
yeah. Because he love that straw in the mask.
Yes.
Saying,
And the things he can do with straw, which is crazy because that's actually a superpower, but they don't really talk about that. But yeah, that's how he escaped prison. And then when Batman seen him on top of that horse, he thought that was him, tackled him, only to realize it was just a bundle of straw on top of a horse with the fear toxin in it. And he tells himself, hold his breath, don't inhale, but he ended up inhaling some anyway. And he
yeah,
gets
he wasn't
tripping.
prepared for that, so I
Yeah,
wasn't surprised that he inhaled.
me either. And he gets to tripping.
so so now we getting back to the Wayne Manor, and now Jim Gordon is back at the house
Again.
again, and they say this time they want to bring Bruce in, but Bruce, like Mac just was saying, he's tripping. The fear toxin didn't wear off, so they end up chasing Bruce all the way to his mom's grave, and Bruce start thinking about Crime Alley when his parents end up getting murked.
They
And
want the pearls, Mom.
yep, he said that was the pearls. So yeah, it's pretty sad.
Did they ever any storyline besides the movie, the first movie, did they ever find who killed his parents?
Yeah,
Yes, they
Joe Chill.
did. Yeah.
The Joker?
No,
No, Joe
no.
Chill.
Yeah, Joe Chill.
Okay.
The Joker had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, nothing to do with it. Yeah, that was they did that. Joe Chill, he was just a regular criminal. You know what I'm saying? Ran down on his parents. They was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Hmm.
And, yeah,
And the only reason he didn't kill, he didn't have the heart to kill Bruce at the time.
yeah. And Bruce actually in the comic ends up um confronting him on his deathbed.
Yeah.
And as Batman with the mask off, but he's dying anyway, so he ain't gonna be able to tell nobody.
Facts.
So
Facts.
yeah, that actually was a good story. Shoot, I might have to
We might have to add that to the list.
yeah, maybe Father's Day. We, we still
Yep.
I think Derek you good?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, so this is the part I'm gonna say a little bit, then I'm gonna have Mac take over so he could explain because I know you was asking about this earlier, Derek. So in this next part, Bruce ends up remembering the past. The Roman is on the table and he got hit.
We not there yet.
No, we are. That's the
Are
next.
you, we really didn't talk about
That's Father's
him.
Day.
I know, but we really still ain't finished talking about the Mother's Day with him going to jail. And
I mean, I mean, it would. They didn't really. I mean, that part it ends with him in the cemetery,
you're
and
right, and then it goes into the trial before this part.
nah, he
He,
ends up. He
he
just
gets out before Father's Day because they had the trial. Remember
yeah, but
the grand jury, and he didn't get convicted. And then he was sitting on the steps, and that's when he remembered the past.
hold on, that's Mother's Day.
Yes, and that's where the
Nah, but
connection.
I mean, it goes into the memory first. I'm looking at it now in my book. It
Okay,
goes into the memory
okay.
first. That's what I'm trying to
I
say.
thought it went into the trial first.
Nah, it didn't go into the trial. It goes into the memory first.
Okay, well, go
And
ahead.
he gets he's on the table, whatever, and he can't go to a regular hospital because the Roman has a hit on him or whatever. So they go to Bruce Wayne's dad because they family is cool with each other, and he performs surgery. Go ahead, Matt. You want to touch on that real quick?
So his dad is performing surgery. This is the person he's performing surgery on is Falcone.
A young version. Because
The
Bruce
young
is
version, because he been shot 3 times, sent him ass, but he didn't die. And uh, Bruce Wayne's dad was the person doing the surgery on him, removing the bullets. And they were talking to him like they want to make sure that he lives. And Batman was sitting on the steps watching the whole time. Like this is the connection between Falcone and the Wayne family. It was that his dad was that the surgeon that saved Falcone's life.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
yes. Okay, now we go to the trial.
Yes. Now we
And
go to the trial.
and Bruce ends up getting off. Alfred makes a great speech,
Great speech that pissed Harvey off.
you know, and he was basically saying like maybe they did go to the police, but Gotham was a whole different place back then than it is now, and that kind of resonate. And Jim even says that's gonna hurt us hard. So
He talks about the crooked cops. Then he talk about how do you know he didn't go to? How do you know he didn't go to the authorities? How you know the authorities didn't get rid of the information? Gotham has a lot of deception in Gotham City PD.
yeah, man. So Bruce ends up getting off on that. Now we end up seeing Luigi, the boss, Moroni,
Yep.
and he meets up with his son Sal, and they're talking. Basically, he actually kind of my bad. Hey, where you at? No, I got Luigi. Yeah, he is. Nope, sorry. That's Johnny Viti. Hold on. I know I got Big Lou. Oh, here he is. And basically, Sal goes meets up with him, and he was talking about how he hates Carmine. He was actually the one that did that to Carmine, and he survived. It's that part where we was talking about him being on the table and stuff, and Bruce's father performing the surgery. And then the crazy part is, as he's meeting with Sal, his son, Big Lou ends up getting whacked right in front of him. And Sal tries to chase down Holiday, but Holiday ends up getting.
Yep.
Then Carla ends up giving her father a tie. Catwoman
Jim
is watching.
Barbara Jordan gets the same. Get Jim the same time.
Yup, get him the tie. The son in the bed with it. And then also Harvey. This is an important part right here too. I don't know if you remember this part there. Derek, this is a part you definitely should have paid attention to. Harvey is in the basement and he said he visited his dad. And then the first thing we see is Harv flipping that coin. The best, the best part that made my day. I was like, oh shoot. When I first read it, I was like, oh man. I knew something bad was gonna happen once he got that quarter. So I'm glad we got the origin, the real origin about how he got that dollar, the old two-headed dollar. His dad gave it to him. And he asked Gilda. Gilda said, how's he doing? And he's like, Pop is still crazy as ever, but he gave me this stuff.
Yeah, I missed that.
That part, yeah. So that actually kind of teaches you where that quarter comes from. And then we go to Scarecrow, and Scarecrow is in like some sort of lab, and he's also there with the Mad Hatter, and the Mad Hatter is asking him, "Do you want cake and tea?" And basically, the Roman is saying, "I didn't bust you guys out of jail early for y'all to talk about cake and tea." They sitting here arguing and stuff. So
And that's who I was talking about. How why he hasn't been in the movie yet.
yeah. I like Jervis Tetch. I think Jervis
Yeah.
Tetch should definitely be.
Who, the Mad Hatter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hated he made all his men dress up like Alice in Wonderland, but he was he was a cold blooded criminal.
Everything that had to do with it was basically Alice in Wonderland. So that was his whole thing. And then we go back to the Wayne Manor and Bruce is out of jail. And him and Alfred is kind of reminiscing on old times, and Batman saying how he misses dad, and and how why did he help uh Salvatore, I mean sorry, Carmine, and he was basically saying like your dad would have did that for anybody that came at the door. And then another big part happens where now Salvatore, I really mean Salvatore. Salvatore is in Harvey's office, but Vernon, the assistant DA, tells him somebody's in there waiting for you, basically. And basically, Sal says that he wants to talk business with Harvey. He wants to basically give up the Roman and all his connections. What y'all think about that ending?
Two Faces coming.
Basically,
Everything is set for Two Face to come.
was this before or after the point Marone went to him to um to say he was ready to give up Falcone?
Nah, this at the end of that part, that was basically the end of that arc right there.
Yeah,
That was the Father's Day arc. Uh, Vernon goes up to Harvey and says, "I got to talk to you. Somebody's waiting for you." And then he opens the door, and then Sal is there.
yeah, that was
And then we go to Batman and Wayne Manor. I guess he's almost as old as his dad was. He said when he lived there nearly as long as his dad did. He talks about, and he's there. He ain't drinking, but Selena, because Batman don't drink. Selena drinking, and they're talking or whatever, and she kind of wants to get away with him. Do you think Batman should have took her up on that offer?
no.
Hey, she said, "What will it take for you to let go?"
I can see him saying Gotham being free of crime.
He ain't gonna say that as Bruce Wayne.
Nah, he'll play her off to the left. Like I got a meeting in the morning or something. He's not gonna take her up on that because it'll complicate things. He didn't do it in the movies, and I don't remember seeing it in the anime. Um, Even though there was one anime when they got turned into kids and Justice League Unlimited, they got turned into kids, and she was
Yeah, I
flirting
remember
with
that
him.
one. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that
she was flirting with him.
nah,
Wonder
that
Woman
was
was flirting with that man. And he was like, "Nah."
yeah, yeah, that was
That's who he should have got with.
yeah. I was
He
wondering.
was like, "Nah, nah."
Yeah, because
Nah.
it was like they got together in that. They always try to push her off on Superman, which I didn't like. I always liked the Justice League joint because I thought that made more sense. I felt like her
Yeah,
and Bruce was more compatible. But
facts.
um and I also thought that was too easy for them to push her off on Superman.
Well, the newer ones they paired them up, Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but apparently she likes Superman, and even in what's that Earth? Um, we
Injustice?
no, the one with Infinity Crisis.
Oh
The
yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah, yeah. That did kind of have yeah, that did kind of only
yeah
one
they paired.
really get together. It was another alternate is Kingdom Come, which is another good storyline that of
Mhm.
course they're gonna do a documentary movie on it. I'm gonna be looking forward to that. But let me keep it pushing with this because I know
All
we
right.
getting late. So Batman meets up with Harvey. Harvey says how he was wrong about Bruce, and he's lets Batman know about him being able to prosecute Carmine. And then he's in the cell, he's waiting. Sophia ends up coming. This is when we find out Sophia and Sal had something going on with each other. She went to jail for Sal. She never told. And she's saying basically she wants her dad to make him cooperate. And basically he ends up doing that. And Batman actually ends up finding the 22 in Harvey's house. So now is everything is
Fact.
really pointing towards Harvey, right?
Yeah, with the serial numbers filed off.
Yeah. So Batman ends up running into Scarecrow and the Mad Hatter and stops what they got going on. Uh, Catwoman helps him again,
She ride or
and
die.
yeah, and two police actually before that I missed the part end up getting whacked. Um, so it's like a whole thing going, like a whole thing going on. So now we get to one of the best parts to the trial, and Harvey ends up bringing his evidence home, and Gilda confronts him about it.
Yep.
What'd you think about that? What'd you think about that part, man? I ain't hear you in a while.
I know. I was just. Yeah, I was. Actually, I was enjoying to hear because he really hadn't. Derek ain't really got to talk a lot about the movie because he was still trying to. He really got to watch it again. But I was
Hmm.
enjoying hearing them talk. But that part right there, it kind of opens up another side of Harvey because when she asked him about it, that he kind of the same Harvey that's been interacting with Gilda throughout the whole comic. That is not the same Harvey.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
The moment she asked him about it, he's like, "So I brought my work home today." And you're like, "You don't normally do this." And he basically mind your business. Basically telling her, "Mind your business."
I think he changed after he got beat up in that garage.
Hmm.
Oh, he got beat up more than one time throughout this thing, but um, he didn't. That wasn't the moment he changed. The moment he changed is when he got that coin, and after he lost that Bruce Wayne case. That
Yeah,
was the
yep,
moment
Mm.
yep. I felt like that too when he lost the
because
game.
he was upset. If you go back to that case, he was really upset. He was like, now Bruce Wayne just he goes back to high society, and we're back to square one. Like he was upset about it. Then Father's Day, he's downstairs flipping that coin, and you can tell at that moment another some else another how can I say it? It's something else has been introduced into the story. Can't think of the actual words. Tay Tay Superman ain't loyal, but another another instance that I can't even personality. Another personality
Split
has
personality.
entered the storyline, and you can tell. Like you can actually tell. And in that moment that she asked about that, that other personality spoke. He's frustrated. He don't know what's going on. He's so caught up in trying to get Falcone. Everything else is like he's oblivious to everything else.
Yeah.
And then
So
and then you realize,
so now basically what happens is um Batman goes to Riddler's hideout in the daytime, and the men aren't scared seeing a 6'2" dude dressed as a bat, and he admits like my appearance has more effect at night, but he had to do it, which normally he wouldn't. He works at nighttime. Then we go from there. We go to Carla and the Roman talking, and she's still mad about her son Johnny Vitti. And now they're getting ready to take Sal into the courtroom. They pat him down. This is the part that I didn't understand, man. Vernon freaking brings um Sal a bottle. He said, yeah, he act like it was for his ulcers or whatever. You know what I mean? He says freaking stomach, so they try to play it off like his stomach is killing him. And they got a Gotham drugstore bag on it. I don't know how he was able to get that in the courtroom, but I'm going wrong with it. I loved it. I'm gonna run with it. So now they're in court, and Sal changes his whole story about what happened, and basically that wasn't in the cards. Harvey, he was supposed to cooperate with Harvey. What did y'all think about that whole part? And then Harvey ultimately getting the acid in his face and becoming
They
the
was after Harvey anyway. Harvey became a problem for them, and they was trying to get rid of him one way or another.
they
You
thought
know,
that Sal thought he killed him because remember when he threw it on his face, he said, "It's over for you, Dick. That stuff will eat through cement."
yep,
yeah, they was trying to get rid of him. He became a problem for. He did became a bigger problem than Batman and Catwoman at the time
Yep,
because he was going hard at him.
because he could do it legally.
Yeah,
he could put the cherry on top. He's a DA. You know what I mean? He could put the cherry on top. So
yeah, he was going hard at him, and I'm surprised. Um, I thought Dent and Bruce Wayne were friends in the other stories, but this story they didn't play on the friendship thing. It was almost like Dent from day one was an adversary.
nah. They knew each other and they worked together. But see, that's why I can't go off of the movie because even all the comics I read, they was never friends.
Uh
They was
huh.
just like this. They always worked together. They was never friends. You know what I mean? They never
Well, in
was.
the old Batman animated series, I thought they were friends.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they. I mean, they played on that too, but that even
Hmm.
though they were more accurate with a lot of the stories that they told, they missed certain things too. But it this to me is how they always was in the comic. Like they
Okay.
were together, they was always cordial, and they could get stuff done together. Him and Bruce was never like tight like in the stories that
Okay.
I read anyway. Maybe there's another story out there somebody could tell me about, but I don't read a lot of Batman stories. They was never cool like
Good
that. And
night, Taker.
but
Yeah, yeah. Only in the cartoon, I guess they were. And in the animated series, they were friends because Batman tried to save him. I don't remember seeing him in the Batman. or Batman Beyond. They didn't bring it back up. I don't think so. Uh,
Well, there's no reason really for Batman Beyond because that's really about Terry McGinnis, and he got
yeah, they
old.
brought the Joker back though.
Yeah, but it was easy to bring the Joker back.
Right, right,
It's easy to bring somebody like the Joker back.
right, right.
Two Face, like if they didn't, and actually one of the creators said that was his thing. He wasn't trying to bring all of the old bad guys back because that was a different
Hmm.
bad. They wanted to give him his own. I would have did the same thing if I was a writer in a drawer. If I got a
Hmm.
different version of the character, I'm not going to keep giving you. Let's say we had a character called Mock Speed, and he was a speedster, and one of his main bad guys was Professor Dreidel.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna make Professor Dreidel for the Sun. I'm gonna have a whole nother bad guy for him. So that's what they was trying to do with Batman Beyond. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, we might give him one or two of the old ones, but we gonna give him his own
Gotcha.
thing.
They
That's
didn't need.
what I
To
would do
be
too.
honest with you, they didn't need to bring them back because Batman Beyond was something completely different.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens here is Harvey ends up in the hospital, and they tell Gilda he's gone, and he stabs the doctor in the back, and that's how
Yep, he escaped.
that ends up going, and then uh Carla ends up getting whacked at the end. The sister, Carla beat him. All right, sis, man, take care. Appreciate you coming through. We almost done. We
Good
got
night, Tuesday.
we got
Yeah,
two.
we're at the end now.
Yeah, we at the end. So I was trying to. So now we see Harvey. He's in the sewer with Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday.
Yep, and
And
he actually says the entire poem so he don't beat him up because Solomon started beating him once he started saying that poem. Solomon sat down and wanted to hear the rest of it. Like, you're right.
Back is stupid. He was. He put his face in the sewer water and
Hmm.
all of that. He was like,
Hmm.
wait, wait, wait. What's the rest of it? Yeah, I mean, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on Wednesday. He got ill Thursday, got worse
Hmm.
Friday, died on a Saturday, and buried on Sunday.
Yep.
That was the end of Solomon Grundy.
Facts.
Yeah, I need to watch that. His backstory when that video dropped. Cause I want to know, man. I really think he's DC answer for the Hawk, how the Hawk used to be.
No, that was
I don't think so because only
oh,
reason why I say that is because he's not as he's
strong.
strong. He got strength.
Hmm.
He even Superman could just make
Yeah,
easy work of him. So
yeah. Solomon Grundy is strong, but he ain't Hulk strong. But I will say this: the Hulk is based off of Solomon Grundy, but it's not the same. The 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 artwork is based off Solomon Grundy, but they're two different characters.
Gotcha.
The person that created the Hulk even said his imagery, like that's what he pictured when he created the Hulk. But they're two different characters. Like
Gotcha.
their story arcs are completely different. It's not like you have other comics like Sentry is Marvel's version of Superman. Like we know
Hmm.
that. And Iron Man and Batman are the same story arc. Different stories, but the same story arc.
At first, I used to think Hyperion was Marvel's answer for Superman.
Hell no. It
Yeah.
was
nah,
Sentry. No,
nah, they
Hyperion
I
Sentry.
would say Century more because Century's supposed to have like 1,000, supposed to 1,000,000 exploding suns, the power of, yeah, and Superman, his correlation to the sun by absorbing
Mhm.
yellow sunlight. So I would definitely say Century more.
Yeah,
But let's keep going, man. We 2 hours in. So
yeah,
Batman,
man. I gotta go to bed.
that's what I'm trying to push. Um Batman meets up with Jim on the roof. They talk about the whole situation with Harvey, how Harvey left. Then he goes see the Roman. He pushes the Roman. Carla goes check on the dad. She thinks he getting too old. And then of course Catwoman is there. And Batman wants to know why she's always there. And she doesn't tell him. She gives him a riddle. And then we go to Harvey's house, the new house that he ended up buying. And Luda is thinking that that was Harvey, but Batman is in the bottom of the basement. He questions her, and then he goes see Calendar Man again.
Yeah.
Calendar Man said, "Let me out. I'll stop the killing if you let me out." No, yeah, you gonna stop it because you gonna get the holiday. So basically, what happens is when they try to bring Sal out, Sal ends up getting shot, and we end up finding that Alberto is still alive. Now, Derek, what did you think about Alberto? Us finding out Alberto was still alive.
That's where the plot twist
Messed you
threw
up.
me off. That's where it threw me off because I was like, okay, what's going on? Can I
Uh,
help you? But
Matt, what did you think? What did you think, Matt?
I was thinking to myself, that was the perfect story out to make Alberto Holiday and make him the villain and a villain, but it didn't work out like we wanted it to.
I did too. I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, so now we on the last part of the story.
Yeah,
Last part. Um, Sal ends up getting murked. Um, Batman ends up being dressed up as one of the officers. Uh, Beats Alberto almost to
damn.
death to where Jim has to be like, "Yo, relax." His dad comes in and visits him, and he's like, "Yo, just take the rap for Sal and get you out of here." And he really pushing a narrative that he's Holiday and not listening to his dad. And he's like, he'll get the gas chamber. And Sal doesn't want that.
Yeah,
So then they basically go over, they check um on Gilda, Jim and wife and Barbara. Then we go right back to the Roman's house with Sophia. He's getting mad because he can't save Alberto. Then we get a bunch of Joker gas thrown into his mansion. And basically we're met with Carmine's house being invaded by all of our favorite bad guys.
all of them.
um,
Oh, Penguin actually was there, but they ain't
Yeah,
give him no lines.
he wasn't there. That don't count.
They don't count. I feel you though. He should have been in this story. This
Yeah,
Penguin right here.
the Joker
Everybody else
family
had a
brother.
part. That's crazy. Because you even Mad Hattie had a little part. Yeah, that's messed up how they did Penguin. They did him
Fact.
creepy. How you put him in here and he ain't had no part?
Like he didn't matter or something. Like
So,
Penguin really was Falcone's right, one of Falcone's right hand man. But that's cool.
so
We see
Bat,
how y'all do Penguin.
so Batman's up. Woman ends up switching up on them, helping Batman out. Catwoman wanted to see the Roman get murked anyway. Um, Carla tries to go at Harvey. She falls off the cliff, or well, off the building, and Catwoman tries to save her, but she slips.
Carla, no, Sophie. Carla already did.
I meant sorry, I meant to say Sophia. Oh my god.
I mean, no, Carla hadn't died yet. She's about to. But no, that was
No,
Sophie.
Carla did. No, she did. She did. She already did get murked.
I thought she was
Sorry.
the last one.
Nah, she already got murked.
Okay.
Nah, the dad is the last one because
Yeah,
Harvey
yeah, yeah.
puts
You right.
and Roman. And Sophia falls off the building. Catwoman tries to save her. And Harvey also, before he gets caught, he went back before he turns himself in. He flips the coin, and he got to make sure he take care of Vernon. As you know,
Yeah.
Vernon, he did him dirty. He was playing both sides with Sal, and he's the reason why he got the acid in the courtroom in the first place.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so basically, we end up finding out that Holiday was mainly guilty.
Yep. Which is crazy in itself.
I
Because at no point in this storyline did you even imagine she being Holiday.
did. I did. I'm not gonna lie.
But she didn't do all the killing.
Yeah, she didn't do all of it. It was it switched.
And if you ever look, like it's a
That's why I said
storyline.
the main. That's why I said the main.
I think, see, I think we need to go into the Apollo storyline next after this because
Yeah,
I
what
think
does she mean? Like he was my Apollo?
that's Two Faces of an alias, Apollo. It's
He
a
was.
whole story. It's a whole storyline about that.
I think she was also referring to the Olympian. You know what I mean? Because you know he the god of the sun.
Yeah,
That's why she
that,
ruled them boy.
that too.
So
I tell you what, it kept me guessing. I know I missed a little bit, but it kept me guessing because for a while I thought it was Dent. I'm come to find out it started with Dent, but the wifey did it all.
The wrong dent.
Yeah, yeah. And then she burned all the evidence.
Yep.
yeah,
She
and
said, "I did it. I did it so we can have more time together." And she
Mhm.
talked about how he came home and his hair was wet.
And that's when she knew that they had a
Yeah, but
secret.
you had your hat on. That's what I was like. Oh snap! She's
Yep.
very attentive. She see this stuff.
yep.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is
But I'm surprised Batman didn't put it together because she basically got off. She walked away.
Yeah. But she was at home with him to see some of that stuff. Not
Yeah,
Batman needed to see all of that.
yeah, he did. Two Face did say, there are two counter murders.
Yep. He said that.
He
Really, it was
said it.
three.
really was three because I think Alberto he definitely
Had something to do
that
with it.
Salvatore one, that was all Alberto. That
Fact.
had nothing to do with Harvey or Gilbert. That was him.
Was Catwoman related to the Falcones?
No.
I honestly
Because when her and Sophia got into it, and she fell out the window.
Now
She
them
called her out by name.
friends.
They were
Yeah,
friends.
Yeah.
everybody know that, but I honestly, I gotta dive more into that because I think that is her have like they have brother and sister and all of that, but I gotta see if in the comics it happened like because if it
All
happened
right.
in the comics like that, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I
All
never
right.
looked. I think so. I think that's the reason why she was following it.
All right.
I think that part was taken from the comics, but like I said, I'll get that information. I'll get that.
Hey, next time we do something like this, can we start a little earlier?
Yeah, I got you. I should have did it earlier anyway.
Right.
'Cause, Drew wasn't on, so I was thinking
Oh,
starting at like 7, 8ish, but it's cool.
he's not on tonight, is he?
Nah, he wasn't on tonight, so
Okay.
I didn't know until I already had set the show up. Um,
And
but
I was sitting here waiting.
my bad.
But
But yeah, man.
you guys get out and vote. I might not talk to y'all until the next live, so you guys get out and vote. Whoever you support, just get out and vote.
Sir. You want to get a people your last, Derek? Uh, because I know.
Very good story. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I did miss some things in the middle, and I appreciate you guys catching me up. Very good story. I didn't have no problem following the motion comics. I have no problem following that. Like I said, I remember that as a child. I hope they'll do a movie like this, man. Because for somebody that's like Batman and all the action and all the cars and the fighting and stuff, this was more of a murder mystery, and this shows the detective side of Batman. You funny, Eric. You already know. Uh, this shows the detective side of Batman. There was no Batman in the, riding in his uh, car or anything like that. It showed a serious side of Batman. I mean, he's always serious, but you know what I'm trying to say. It showed a different side, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the stories like this about Batman without Robin or Batgirl when it was just him and his skills against the crime families and supervillains of Gotham. So I appreciate it always coming in, and you guys always keeping me up. I appreciate you. Stay ready, Mac. Thank you very much. Act. I appreciate you. And that's all I got to say.
Mac, man, give him your last, man.
Man, this was great. We will be back with some more. I actually got a story in mind, but we'll talk about that on the back end, and y'all will get it when you get it. Uh, Stay tuned for the next one. I think we're gonna have a great one for y'all coming up. Um, I got a good idea for the next show. I want to chop it up with you guys and see what you thought. And man, it is what it is. You ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. Tune in for the next Comic Cons, man.
Sir.
Yep.
Appreciate both my co-hosts for coming through. Uh, Definitely always wanted to cover this story with Matt, and we broke the whole story down in its entirety.
We
Um,
did.
Appreciate it. Everybody that came through that could stay around. I know everybody got to get up, in the morning time and stuff like that. So if you stayed and rocked with us, we appreciated that. Be back on the next one, and peace out, man. Appreciate y'all.
What are you? I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.